Hi guys, Buildzoid here, and welcome to episode 3 of reacting to people's RAM timings. The only reason I'm doing this is because multiple people asked on stream that, like, what if there's going to be another episode. So here we are. And of course, the first screenshot I get to look at is some generic BDI settings. And the SCLs are loose for some reason. And the TRRDs is like, well, TWR's loose, WTRLs are loose, TRFC's tight. Yeah, pretty generic BDI things right here, with gear down mode, and yeah, so... Yay! It's kind of impressive that this runs at just 1.45 volts, though. Like, 1415 at 3800, like, that's a good kit of RAM. But the timings are just generic BDI things. Also, RTP is loose. Not that that one really does anything, but... yeah, anyway, so that's the first thing I clicked on. Let's keep scrolling. Dual rank CJR, apparently. So this could be kind of interesting to look at. Okay, apparently clicking on it does not make it bigger. 16, 19, 19, yep, CJR things, TRAS 31. I'm surprised that it wouldn't work at 28. Command rate 1T, because, yeah, we're at 3733 on Z690. Okay, that makes perfect sense. 6.4, good. TRFC 500, good. TREFI 65,000, cool. TWR, kind of loose. 19, really? Is that necessary? I would have thought it would do 10 or something. TFAW 16, good. TCKE 4, it doesn't go lower than 4, so that's good. WCL 15, yeah, makes sense. Wait, same group 4? What? That shouldn't work. That really shouldn't work. And the funny thing is, Intel memory controllers have this weird thing where if you set some of the timings... Like, it's not super common that you run into this, but sometimes if you set certain memory timings too low, the memory controller goes into a sort of panic state, and performance goes to hell. This shouldn't work. So, I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to go dig up my CJR sticks and see if this actually works, because I have serious doubts about that working. That probably doesn't work. Like, if that was a 6, I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't be doubting it. But a 4? For same group? Really? And then, like, read to write, same group, that's pretty sensible right there. The read to write, write to read is, I think that's normal for CJR. And then the different rank timings are... Yeah, this is a mess. These tertiaries are just a mess. Like, your read to read different dims or different rank are 16. Like, what the hell is that? These are at 20, which is okay, fair enough. But then the write to write timings are at 16 as well. Like, the way this is set up, if you have a back-to-back read operation where you do one read on one memory stick and the next read on the other memory stick, or just another read on a different rank, there's going to be a 16-cycle delay in between read operations, which is just like you're actually, like, I'm not sure if it ultimately leads to, like, the whole reason dual rank is good is because the delay going for a lot of your back-to-back operations, doing a read on a different rank is generally going to be faster than doing a read on the same rank. But with timings like this, it actually takes 4 times longer to do a back-to-back read from a different rank than it does from the rank you're currently in. And so the tertiaries on this are whack. Like, this is actually, these are just whack. So that's cool. We got something interesting to look at. I have serious doubts about this working correctly. So Yeah, I guess I'm gonna pull my CJR sticks out and do some testing with that, but this just looks wrong. Like, this looks so wrong. Like, the 4-4s, like, yeah, the 4-4 on the well, the same groups being at 4, and then the DDDR timings are just, like, this is awful. Like, this is really, yeah, this is whack. If this works properly for whoever set it up, I am very surprised. If this has, like, I'd be less surprised if this had weird performance issues. Which might not be that noticeable depending on what exactly you use the system for. Like, if you run Cinebench on this, I'm sure you wouldn't be able to tell that anything's wrong with it. And anyway, let's keep going. Disclaimer, do not copy manually input values of someone else's kit. Every kit is unique. Yep. We don't have a voltage readout, which is a bit of a shame, but we've got 3733. Finally, somebody who acknowledges the fact that, you don't need to always do 1900 FCLK. Gear down mode disabled, 1T command rate single rank. Though, at the same time, I'd say most boards and CPUs should be able to do 3800, especially for 5000 series, but even then, like, the difference between 3733 and 3800 is really not that big, so it doesn't really matter. The SCLs can probably go lower. SCL 4, you can usually do SCL 2 for both of them. Other than that, TRRDL is surprisingly loose. Like, this is BDI. Like, this should be 4.6 or 4.5 or 4.4, not 4.8. TRC is also kind of loose. Like, yeah, you can often run, like, well, at 3733, a lot of good BDI will do a TRC of, like, 40 or even less. And then you just lower your TRAS to match that. That's usually how I do it, is, like, if I have a TRC of, like, 38 with 14 primaries, then I'll have a TRAS of 24, so that it lines up for the TRC timing. Anyway, TFAL 16, WTRS 4, cool. WTRL 14, not cool. Why? What is it with people having their right to read late, like, delay being... I think it's right to read, right? Is it? No. Right turnaround? I can't remember what that timing stands for, but it shouldn't need to be a 14. Like, usually, like, I usually set 4.8 for that. So 4.14 is just kind of like, that's odd. TWR 14, also kind of loose. That can probably do 10. TRFC is some random number of 298. Which is a perfectly acceptable TRFC value, so I'm not going to complain about it. Somewhere, like, most BDI kits will do a TRFC of somewhere between 200 and 300 at, like, 3733. So this falls in that range of between 200 and 300, so it's probably fine. It's fine from a stability perspective. And going down to, like, say, 266 is really not going to drastically change the performance, so that doesn't really matter. TCWL 14, fine. RTP 8, hey, that's tightened up. These are good. This is single rank. Okay, so we don't really have to worry about the tertiaries on this. And TCKE 1. So, yeah, this looks fine. I mean, it's not particularly impressive. Also, I am very confused as to why your memory, like, why you'd have a 16 gig kit on a, like, $400 motherboard, but... Like, if it were me, I'd buy a $200 motherboard and a 32 gig kit of RAM, because dual rank BDI is faster than single rank BDI, even if you end up at, like, worse timings. Anyway, let's keep scrolling. Tried to run it CL14 with 1.5 volts, but it was unstable. Should I go 1.45 volts with sharper timings instead of CL14? And this is at 1.36. It's not going to really make much of a difference. Like, that's the thing with the primary timings is, like, yes, they drag down the IDA latency readout, and then they don't really affect any real-world workloads much at all. So, anyway, so TCL 16, 15, 15, 30, 45... You could probably run lower TRC than that. TRRD is 4.6, that makes sense. 16 TFAW. WTRs, yeah, this makes more sense. Like 410, I guess I could see some kits not being able to do 4.8. So 410 kind of makes sense. TWR at 14. I usually set TWR to 10, and it works. It also doesn't really change performance that much, so it doesn't really matter, but yeah. Then we have TRFC 304. This is weirdly high. I guess also it is at low voltage, so I guess that makes sense, because TRFC does scale with voltage a bit. SCLs, these could be 2. These can probably do 2. What motherboard is this? Yeah, it's a Unify X. This can probably do 2s. RTP at 8, that makes sense. Yeah, and then we have the same dim, different dim at 4.4, and same dim, different dim 6.6. Yeah, these unfortunately do not go lower than that. The drive strengths are kind of whack. I've never had a reason to change these from stock. Proco DT does make sense for a B550 Unify X. This is with a 5900X. Yeah, not of the so far. This is probably the least complaints I've had, but I'm surprised that it won't do CL14 at higher voltage though. I am surprised by that. Because 16 at 1.36, I would really think you should be able to do CL14 at 1.5. Yeah, that is weird that it won't do that. Then again, there are certain B-die kits that just have terrible voltage scaling, so it might be one of those, which is rather unfortunate. Hey, we've got some actual, a very detailed screenshot for once, and it's probably too high res to actually see anything. Open image in new tab, please. Hey, it isn't. We've got a mem test, 14K. Oh, this is DDR5 in it. Yup, it is. And this is on a Z690 Dark Kingpin edition. Got 7030, 442, 42, 2T command rate, which is a bit surprising because from what I've heard, the Dark is actually really good at 1T, but it doesn't make that much of a difference. TRFC at 360, it's a bit high for, I'm assuming, yeah, has to be Hynix. That's a bit high for the TRFC on Hynix. WR14, fair enough, yeah, fine. I mean, it can go lower. I've been able to, I think I've managed to run TWR as low as 2 or 6 or something. Single digit TWR is doable on DDR5. RTP at 12, fine. TFAW 18. Why would you have it at 18? Just set it to 16. I refuse to believe that it actually needs to be at 18. Or maybe it does. The thing is, I've not actually been able to run memtest at 7,000 megabits per second, so I don't know how maybe it does actually need to be at 18 once you're at this higher speed, but for me, 7,000 just, doesn't work, so, yeah, I guess I shouldn't comment on that. TCWL32 makes sense. Read to read same group 13 is a bit loose. To be fair, at 7,000, at best, I could see it doing 12. So that's not too surprising. Then 8, yeah, that seems sensible. 2020, sensible. 11.7, and then 58.46. And then all of the, irrelevant timings are set to 4. And yeah, okay, this makes sense. Latency 49.5 nanoseconds and 110 gigabytes per second. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Yeah, this is good. I have nothing more to say. For DDR5, this is a very good setup. And this is a G-Skill 6400 CL32 kit. So yeah, this is a good set of settings right here. So let's keep scrolling. Have tuned for hours. Really now. 16, 15, 13. Hey, somebody who actually, understands primaries for B-die. The SCLs are loose. TRRDs are good. TFAW is good. WTR good. TWR good. TRFC good. Yeah, this is how I like to. And then we have same dim, different dim. I'd probably have both of these set to 4.4 and 6.6. The thing is, if this is using 16 gig DIMMs, then the different DIMM timings don't actually matter, so that would be fine. Also, VDIMM 1.43 volts, yeah, so this makes sense. TCWL 12 makes sense. RTP is a 12. That timing really, like, it can go lower, but it doesn't really do that much, so I wouldn't worry about it. So, yeah, I like this. With curve optimizer or my RAM. CPU OC with curve optimizer, or it's a mem test 200% with no errors. If it's crashing randomly at idle, it's curve optimizer, because that's the main reason I've not made any content with curve optimizer, is because it just randomly crashes at idle, and I've not found a way to work around that. It's entirely too difficult to test. Also, this is 4x8. Okay, so actually then you'd want 4, 4, and 6, 6 for the different dim timings, because, yeah. That other than, like, so basically the tertiaries could do with some minor adjustments, but other than that, like, good timings. Potentially for the stability, maybe just shove more voltage into it, apply a fan to the RAM. The proc ODT is weirdly high, especially for a gigabyte board. Though I guess depending on which revision you're on, it might, like, if that's an early revision board. No, this is with a 5800X, so this probably, yeah, I'm pretty sure this has to be like a late revision then. So, well, at the same time, I'm not really... No, I think even for 4x8, it's best to use proc ODT of 40 ohms on any 6-layer gigabyte board. Yeah. So I'm like, I'd probably be using a 40 ohm proc ODT, but if this works for you, then that might actually be fine. But, yeah, because, like, just because every single gigabyte board I have, at least every single gigabyte board with the good memory topology, because there's like a really early topology that Gigabyte had for X570, which is not great for multi-rank memory setups. On that topology, the proc ODT requirements are all over the place depending on what you're trying to do. But on the later production topology that you get on like revision 1.1 X570 boards and then all of the B550s, and as long as they have 6 or more layers, on that topology, like for me, it's always been just punch in 40 ohm proc ODT, and that's like, that always works best for every memory configuration I've tried. So, yeah. Anyway, like, the actual settings on the, like, the primaries and secondaries look good. The tertiaries look like they could do with some refinement. And in terms of stability, I'd ditch the curve optimizer first. That's the first thing I would throw out the window if you're having weird stability issues that, like, you can't pick up in memory tests or something. What do we have here? What is this? Z270 board with 16 gig DIMMs. This has got to be B-die, right? Yeah, yeah, TR15 at 3600. This is B-die. Why? What? 66Y? Why not 4? Like, I mean 64 in this case, because the long timing, and then TRFC 324. What's that? Why? I refuse to believe that those DIMMs don't do less TRFC lower than 300. TCWL 15, fair enough. RTP 12, fair enough. RTLs actually look good. Yeah. GREF 540,000, fair enough. Like, fine. This could probably be a 7. Like, this is probably, like, yeah, it's pretty likely that you'd be able to run, like, 7, 4, 7, 7, 9, 9. Okay, cool. And then 28, 24. These could probably go lower at 3600, like, 26, 22, maybe even less than that. And then you should be able to just do 7, 7, 7, 4, 7, 7. So the tertiaries could be a little bit better, I think. And then the TRRDs, I have no idea why this is a 6. Like why is it a 6? You have your FAW set to 16, which is like, yes, good. But why is the TRRDS a 6? Also, TRFC at over 300 doesn't make a ton of sense. Like, I've yet to find a B-die kit that doesn't do under 300 TRFC. And that includes, like, I have B-die DIMMs that literally will not do less than, like, CL18 at 4000. No matter how much voltage you shove into them. And even those will do low TRFC. Like, they're terrible. But you can't tell that they're terrible from the secondary timings. Only the primaries are affected. And then every other kit that I have, like the TRFC, will do something between 200 and 300. So having over 300 TRFC is like, you're not leaving a lot of performance on the table, but like if you're going to be lazy, just punch in 300. Not like, what the hell is 324? 3000 CL15 Hynix, 8 gigabit. Oh, Hynix 8 gigabit is not good. But it's not so bad that you'd be stuck at 3000. Oh, this is XMP. Yeah, okay, we're going past that. CPU Mobo combo. Wait, what board is this? B550. Really? Oh, it's a Ryzen 7 1700. Okay, well, yeah. It's quite unfortunate. Voltage is not shown in screenshot. 1.55. SoC at 1.125 on LLC3. We've got a 3950X with gear down mode turned on. 14.8, 15.14, 24.38. Yes! Another person who sets their primary timings for B-die like it's B-die. TRD's 4.4, TFOF 16 good, 4.8.10. Yay! This looked like 256 TRFC. I mean, I wouldn't be that, like, I wouldn't go, I'd punch in a 255 or a 266 because that's less different buttons to press, but SCLs of 2, TCWL 14, RTP8, good. Yes, this is good. This is pleasing to look at on a Crosshair 8 Impact. Yeah, this is good timings. If your timings looks like this is what, and like tertiaries are good, second, everything's good. I have no complaints here. Just straight up no complaints. Now, admittedly, he's running kind of a lot of voltage, but hey, if you can cool it, why not? Let's keep scrolling. Daily 7000 CL30 on an ITX Unify. Ooh boy. Using a Kingston 6000 C30 kit. Oh man, this is really fast. 30, 40, 40. Those are strong DIMMs. Those are really strong DIMMs, because like TRCD 40 being full, wait, is it full stable? There's no, well, this is really fast. I don't know if it's actually stable because we don't, am I missing something? Yeah, no, I can't see anything. And in terms of timings, 140,000 TREFI. Yeah, that can work. And write recovery time, 31, really? Why? TRFC 300, TRFC per bank 240, cool. TRDs 84, cool. WTRs, yeah, I mean, actually, the funny thing about WTR timings on Intel is that they're not real. They're just calculated off of the write to read and write to read timings down here. So we can just ignore those. RTP 11, fair enough. TFOL 16, good. TCWL 28, good. RTLs, I actually don't know what they should look like for DDR5. 14.8, and then different rank, different DIMM are basically disabled. 14's like, that's surprisingly loose, but at the same time, this is at 7,000, so I guess, you know, that might be necessary. 19, yeah, like that makes sense. They're unlikely to go any lower. I'm really surprised that the write to write same group is at 14, because on a lot of setups that'll go as low as 9. Like at lower speeds at like 6600, you can often run write to write same group at 9. Or 6800 even, you can often set it to 9. And then also the different group timings, instead of 8s, a lot of the time you can run 7, but at 7,000 megabits per second, I'm not sure how likely that is to work. So yeah, this is solid. This is good. Also, you can see like Geekbench for over 14,000. Like that is very quick. I wish we had an Intel MLC or an IDA bandwidth, like memory latency screenshot for this, but this is good. This is really good. So yeah, those are some strong DIMMs being able to do TRCD 40 at 7,000. Though, again, like, I don't know if it's fully stable. This is at 1.6 volts. I have my doubts about this being full stable. It could be. Daily. Yeah, like, if that's actually fully stable, that is really impressive. Because, yeah, that is damn fast. Okay, we've got a 5800X. How long have we been going? 24 minutes. Cool. I want to keep the video under an hour, so we'll just keep going until I feel like I've run out of time. 3800, 14, 8, 14, 8, 14, 14, 28, 42. I'm not going to complain about that. Like, going to TRC 38 probably isn't, like, it's not going to make a drastic performance difference at that point. Then 4, 6, fine. 16, 4, 12, yeah, sure, whatever. TWR 12, cool. TRFC 252. Okay, SCLs are at 4. They could probably be at 2. RTP at 6, okay. And then tertiaries are good. This is a single rank B-die setup. We don't have an FCLK or MCLK. I'm going to assume it's just straight up 1900. The board shouldn't have any issues running that. Yeah, solid settings. Yeah, like this is just solid. Yeah, I don't really have, yeah, I can't really, I mean, SCLs could be lower, but that's just kind of like, and what, like, it's not going to be like a mind-blowing change to the performance. And 2T command rate, it doesn't make that much of a difference in terms of performance, like gear down mode versus 2T. So I'm not gonna, like, I don't see anything wrong with using that. In fact, I think my daily system is on 2T because the horrendous B-die that's in my daily system, just like, it's bad. It's real bad. Anyway, next we've got another Ryzen setup. What is this? 350 at 3733, 1617. What is this? Also 4726. This is XM 4x8 Samsung B-die. What 350Y? Why is this at 350? Also, the SCLs are on auto. The tertiaries could be better. TRD. Why is TFAW at 26? Like, here's the thing. If you set your TFAW, right, to 26, if your TFAW is higher than your TRD, like, than your shortest TRRD timing, right? So if you had two, like, if basically, because anyway, the 4 active window basically sets how many times you can do an activate operation in a row before taking an extra break, or how many, like, the minimum number of clock cycles that can be, in which 4 activate commands can be done. The TRRD timing sets the delay between a short activate, so TRRDS is like short activate delay, and TRRDL is long activate delay. So if you send 4 short activate commands, those get completed in 16 cycles, which means with a TFAW of 26, that gets rounded up to 26, meaning that your TRRDS of 4 does pretty much nothing for performance. Like, TFAW overrides your TRRD timings, so which is why you should always set it to 16 and then set your TRRDs afterwards. So yeah, the 26 is not an okay TFAW setting at all. Like, no. And also the rest of the timings here are just like, B-die. At what voltage? 1.4. Okay, well, apparently these sticks are still better than the stuff I have in my daily system, so I really shouldn't be complaining that much, but, like, yeah, no, this TRRD, like, no. TFAW 26, no. TRFC 350, why? Like, are you running your memory sticks in an oven that they can't hold data? And then TWR at 16, I mean, that one doesn't really make that much of a performance difference, so I'm not really going to complain. The WTRLs, like WTRs, are actually fine. So like 4.9, don't really have a problem with that, but that TFAW is painful to look at. And the TRFC is also, like, why is it so damn high? And then SCLs could be at 4. Like, SCLs at 4 basically always works. SCLs at 2 mostly works. So, yeah, also, well, the primaries, like, there are B-die kits that are actually so bad that this would be the limit, especially at 1.4 volts. So I'm not gonna complain about that too much. Really boring, yes, because, like, we don't even have a full set of timings for that. Probably still room for improvement. Yeah, your TRC could be lower. Your TRAS could be lower. At least the SCLs are at 4 for once. RTP, actually, we've seen mostly SCLs at 4. I shouldn't be saying that. TRD, why is this at 8? I mean, it doesn't really change the performance that much, but I really doubt that's actually necessary for stability. And then we have WTRs of 5 and 14, so these are straight up on auto, because I'm pretty sure that's auto. TWR at 16, like, I'll give you a pass on that because it doesn't make that much of a difference. TRFC 250, cool. This is single rank. Oh, board. B550 IAORS Pro. So the only real adjustment I would make to this is 4, 8, 10. Yeah, like 4, 8, 10. TRC should do 40. And yeah, like TRC should do 40. So like I'd set TRAS to 25 or something. Because on Ryzen, the TRAS register limit is 21. And actually, in a lot of cases, it'll work at 21 just fine, too. Anyway, let's keep going. We have more Ryzen. Hey, this is good. I mean, the TRC is a bit loose, but I'm not going to complain. SCL's at 3, cool. Yeah, that's the first time we've seen those at 3. Yeah, see? Like something like this. 14, 15, 15, 30, 45, 4, 4, 16, 4, 8, 10. Good. 261 for TRFC, which is an oddly specific TRFC value, but whatever. SCL 3, 3, yeah. RTP 6. Good. I have no complaint. I have no complaints. I mean, TRC could probably go a little bit lower, but at this point, it's not really going to make much of a difference. And this is on a B550 Gaming Plus. Revisit a few timings, but this is super stable. Honestly, I wouldn't. Like, the way this... Like, if you have something that's stable and you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to just make it slightly faster, you won't, and you will hate yourself for how much more time you spend mem testing. No, nothing crazy. IDA 64 keeps showing absolutely random results on L3 bandwidth. I'm assuming Windows 11. This latency is terrible for a 5000 series. Like, this is actually horrendous. What on earth are you doing? How is it so... What? Is this on Windows 11? Oh, it is on Windows 11. Use a real operating system. Why is it at 310? Seriously, I've never seen a stick that doesn't go below 300. SCLs at 4 are fine. CWL fine. RTP, yeah, what? Eh? Why is that at 7? It's kind of oddly high. But the falls are set correctly. TRC is very loose. WTRs make some amount of sense. We don't have a voltage here. It's a Tough Gaming X570 Plus, and this is 16 gigs of RAM. Could be worse. Look at some of the other screenshots that were posted for inspiration, I guess. And this is a 10600K. I don't understand why I lost performance. I didn't touch barely anything in BIOS. What did you do? This is a 10600... Yeah, I have no idea how you managed that. Absolutely no idea. But also, like, you didn't post any useful information, so we can't fix that. We have some B-die doing... Oh, it's a first gen. Even then, you should be able to do 3200. There's no reason to have... This is B-die, right? Wait, is this some generic garbage? Oh, it's 3200 CL16. Yeah, okay. It's generic garbage B-die, probably. TRFC 350. No, 525. Actually, this is XMP. Why are you posting XMP? Go away. Even though it's 850% stable at random, only when I restart or turn PC on, tells me RAM OC failed. Yeah, that sometimes happens. There's like certain BIOS versions for Ryzen have serious retrain stability issues. And especially, like, your settings aren't even that impressive, so... yeah, because this is what, 1822, 1842. So this is B-die, because that is a TRFC of 280 at 4,000. But these timings are oof. These primaries are just oof. At 1.46 volts as well. Like, what, The latency is pretty good, because, like, high FCLK brings the latency way down. The TRRD, like, 810? TFAW of, well, at least the TFAW isn't higher than the TRRDs, I guess. TWR was left on auto, apparently. SCLs are at 4 at least. Yeah, no, this is unfinished. Like, yeah, this is just straight up. Like, I wouldn't consider this finished. Also, X570 Tomahawk. It might be the MSI board. Like, this is the main reason I stopped using the biggest frustration I have with my X570 Godlike from MSI is that at high memory speeds, it randomly doesn't want to train. Which, yeah, like, that board just kind of does that. Like, sometimes it'll boot 4000 CL14, sometimes it doesn't. And there's no real rhyme or reason to why that happens, it just does. So... yeah, but, like, these timings, like, this is, like, the primaries aren't even the worst part. The TRRDs are. Like, 8 to 10 is just, like, this is bad. This is real bad. Anyway. Let's keep going. Stress tested with GPU load at the same time. Oh, somebody taking their memory thermals seriously. Why is your read-to-read SCL at 5 while your write-to-write is at 4? Because I'm pretty sure there's no BIOS that defaults to 5.4. They default to 5.5 in my experience. So, like, you had to change one of them. Okay, we've got 16, 28, 48. This could probably go lower. 4.6, 16, good. 4.12, fine. TWR 16, fine. TRFC 266, good. Yeah, the SCLs are a bit, like... you could probably even do 2.2. And then same dim. Ideally, you'd want your same dim timings to be 4 and 6 instead of 5 and 7. Then we've got 60 ohm, which ITX B550 gigabyte board. So I've not actually worked with one of those. It's a different memory topology compared to the X570 ITX board that I have. So yeah, this might actually be optimal for that board. I have no idea. I don't have one. Yeah, so I'm overall not much to complain about there. It's stable. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even... would I? The thing is, I can pretty much guarantee that the SCLs can go lower and it won't crash. So, yeah, the same dim and the same dim timings on the other hand, that might not work, but it's worth trying because that can boost performance a little bit. On the edge of stability, 3533 with a 2700. Yep, okay, yeah, I would figure as much. Not B-die, Hynix apparently. Because TRFC 5... actually, I guess it could be some kind of Micron as well. It would have been nice if they mentioned what memory chips they had. 2298. Yeah, this is... I mean, yeah, it's a single rank setup, so everything is set to 1 because those like the same dim, different dim timings, like they literally do not do anything if you don't have multiple memory ranks, so that makes sense. VDIM at 1.6. Spicy. And then 4416 to 5. Actually, this is Micron then. Yeah, RP at 12. This is Micron. Rev E, I'm gonna say. Yeah, this has to be Micron. Because Micron does really low WTRs and also really low RP. Unfortunately, it doesn't do low TRC, so the performance gains are kind of like... the performance isn't that great. But TRC 52, I mean, we're at 3533, so I guess that makes sense that it's actually kind of... like, it's not insanely high like it is once you push higher memory speeds. Yeah, this is good. This is good. For a Ryzen 7 2700 with Micron, this is good. I have no complaints. Let's keep going. We have a 5800X with generic B-die timings. Yes, but they're good, aren't they? 14 good, 8 good, 15 good, 14 good, 26 good, 40 good, 4416 good, 38 impressive. Good. TWR, I mean, actually, impressive is already a rating. I don't need to say good afterwards, do I? TWR 12, fine. TRFC 240, good. 4422 will probably work. TCWL 14. Actually, oh wait, I'm misreading that. 14, so good. RTP 7, good. TRDWR 8 and WRRD 3, good. 4. Yeah, so we've got 4466. Yeah, all good. Yeah, so the only adjustment I would make to this is I'd lower the SCLs. This is really good, and this is on an X570 Unify with a 5800X and some kind of dual rank configuration. I hope I took the right screenshots. We have a Zen timings. We have 30. It's XMP. I will not evaluate XMP timings. JDEC DJR on my laptop. Oh, that is unfortunate. Like, I'm surprised that you were able to change any timings at all. But yeah, like 4416 is not JDEC. Not at 3200. 4810. 398. SCL's at 2. That is cool that you can change the memory timings. It is really unfortunate that you can't do anything about the, like, Infinity Fabric. Yeah. Oh, well. Let's keep going. Crucial Ballistics 3200 megahertz 32 gig kit set to 3800 16 16 20 16 36. Yeah, see the TRC like the 3800 it's bad. TRDs of 6624. This is sensible. Like I've never been successful, assuming this is dual rank, which it might be. If this is dual rank Micron Rev E, I've never been successful with changing the TRRDs on Micron Rev E. Rev B is fine. Rev E has some bizarre termination requirements, and I've never been able to stabilize it. TFAW 24, right, yeah, because 6.6, WTRs. These could probably go lower if this is Rev E. WR at 24, that's really loose. TRFC 608. 3800, actually that's sensible. It's not like it's going to go much lower anyway. SCL's at 4.4, that's fine. TCWL 16, yeah, it's not really going to improve much. RTP at 14, that could probably go a bit lower. And then these should be able to do 4, like, I'd try to get these to 4 and 6s instead of 7. Like 5s and 7s, I'd be going for 4s and 6s. So this is okay. Unfortunately, like Micron subtimings are, I've not been very successful with them on Ryzen systems. So, like interestingly enough, on Intel, I've not had issues with the TRRDs, but I did have issues with the speed. Like I think it was Z390 where it was like I couldn't get them to clock, but I could set all of the timings just fine. So that was weird. And it would even do 1T command rate in dual rank, which was kind of whack because the Z390 doesn't have the best 1T command rate support. Read to read same group won't go any lower than 12. Well, you are at 6800, so like not all DIMMs and not all CPUs and I guess not all boards will do read to read 11. Yeah, this is just good, isn't it? Yeah, 28 at 6800, like that's a low TCL. RCD 39, that's low. TRP 40, that is weird. My experience has been that TRP can generally be lower than TRCD, so like 3940 is interesting, because I would have figured they'd be the other way around, but if it works for you, like, fair enough. Also, it doesn't make that much of a performance difference, so whatever. One tick of any one primary timing just never, especially on DDR5, is borderline irrelevant, because the thing is, when you change a memory timing, right, if you go from, like, CL10 to CL5, you have cut the cast latency in half. But if you go from, like, CL40 to CL39, your cast latency has improved by, like, 2.5%, which basically means you ain't gonna notice. So yeah, anyway, still like good timings for 6800 on the primaries. TRFC, that's a really low TRFC. Yeah, like normally that is really low. I am surprised that works. I mean, am I that surprised? Not really. But yeah, like generally the TRFC, like I keep it in the like 300 plus range. And with the refreshes set up like this, I do wonder if you might not be hitting the error correction. Because like the error correction built into DDR5 is specifically for like refresh problems where ones turn into zeros. And if your refresh cycle, like if your refresh timings are set like really aggressively on DDR5, you're not necessarily going to get immediate like crashing. You're first gonna have weirdness with performance, then crashing. So this is really, yeah, this is really aggressive on the refresh settings. Like that's a very long refresh interval, which is good for performance. And then the refresh cycles themselves are actually really short. Yeah, but if that works well for you, that is impressive. If it doesn't work well, then yeah, that's why, because that is really aggressive. Anyway, let's keep going. TWR8, good. TRD44, good. RTP13, it doesn't make that much, like, it doesn't affect performance that much, so yeah, that's fine. TFAW16, good. 12.7, good. 11.7, good. 18.19. I'm a bit surprised that they're 18.19 and not like 19.18 or 18.18. But hey, if that works for you, like, it's not going to make a huge difference, and if it works, it's good. And then we have 55. Where's the other right to read timing? Oh, there it is, 41. Oh, whoa, that is low. That is really low. Damn. Yeah, so this is good. This is all just good memory settings right here for DDR5, and this is on a Unify X. Anyway, let's keep going. We've got a 5900X on a Crosshair 8 Extreme, and it's not like $700 motherboard and admittedly dual 32 gigs of dual rank B die. Primaries are good. I'm just like 3733, really? Does it not go any higher? Maybe I'm just lucky with my 5950X because it will run 3800 on absolutely everything. As well, that's not true. There are certain boards where it won't do 3800, but yeah, I wouldn't expect 3800 to cause issues on most boards. But then again, I don't really have a lot of Asus AM4 boards, so I don't know. Maybe they just don't like 3800 for some reason. But yeah, good primaries, right? Like 11 TRP is really low, and then the TRAS at 21, and then TRC at 34. Like these are actually about as low as they can ever get. So that's impressive. Then we have 4416 good. Then we have 37 good. TWR 10 good. TRFC 240 good. SCL's at 3 good. At TCWL 14 like good. RTP is 8 fine. And same DIM, different DIM. These could be lower. Like they should be able to do 4, 4, and 6, 6 on those. Yeah, so this is really good. The only thing I'm surprised about is that like it's 3733 and not something higher. Also, why the voltage readout has to be bugged out. There's no way this works at 1.25 volts. Yeah, so good timings. I'm just surprised the speed isn't any higher. I am sad I am running stock DOCP. Well then, don't post in my thread. Like, what am I going to react to? Your motherboard's auto settings? Couldn't get 1900 FCLK to work. Oh, we've got another one of those people that doesn't realize that there's memory speeds between 3800 and 3600. It really frustrates me when I see people go like, oh, 3800 doesn't work, therefore I run 3600. It's like 3666 exists. 3733 exists. why don't you like try those instead? Like, just because 3800 doesn't work doesn't mean you have to go all the way down to 3600. As for the timings, good, yeah, like good, 28 good, TRC fine, whatever, 4.6 good, well, 4.6, 16 good, 4.12. They could probably go lower, as we've seen many times before. TWR 12, sure, 300 and 304. Why? Like, where do people keep digging up these random ass TRFC numbers? Like, set it to like 300 or something, or 299 or 288. Like most DIMMs, like basically all BDI DIMMs will do less than 300 TRFC, especially at 3600. Then we've got SCLs of 4.4. These could be lower probably. TCWL is fine. RTP is fine. These are fine. And then is it dual rank? Yes, it is. 5.5. Yeah, this could be 4.466 instead of 5.577. Let's keep going. Oh, we've got Ground's crazy Micron Rev B setup. And it is actually crazy because he's mixing a 5100 CL19 kit with a 3200 CL16 kit. Yeah, the end result is over 10,000 points in Geekbench, which is a lot for the memory score. We've got a 50 nanosecond IDA latency because this is a monolithic Ryzen CPU. It's a 5700G. The FCLK is all the way up at 2367. So you get a latency reduction because the FCLK can go really, really high, but also because the chip is monolithic, there isn't an external Infinity Fabric connection. The timings, we've got 18, 22, yeah, micron things, TRC to 62, TRRDs of 4.616, WTRs of 4.8, TWR 16 makes sense. TRFC's loose because it's Rev B, that's the one downside to it. The SELs could probably go lower. I'm not actually sure. This is a really wacky memory setup because this actually ends up being 48 gigs of RAM because you've got the two 16 gig DIMMs and the two 8 gig DIMMs. Yeah, so SCLs could be lower. But other than that, like, this is good. I mean, I'm surprised that the right-to-right different DIMM is at 7, but I guess that might actually be limited by the memory configuration here. So yeah, this is without gear down mode, and it's 1T command rate, which is impressive. So yeah, this is a very wacky, very cool memory setup right here. How long is the video? 52 minutes. Okay, I guess at this point I should end it. So hopefully the next person to points... This is disappointing. So yeah, we're ending on that. We're ending with this. This is a cool set of settings right here. That'll be the end of the video because the next thing down looked like XMP again. So... yeah, that's it for this episode of reacting to people's memory timings. This one was actually low effort to produce, so if I can keep making them like this, I guess we'll have another one next month. And yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for posting your... oops, I hit the mic. Thank you for posting your timings if you did. Like, share, subscribe, leave any comments, questions, suggestions down in the comment section below. If you'd like to support what I do here with actually hardcore overclocking, I have a Patreon. There is a link to that down in the description below. There's also the AHOC Teespring store where you can pick up shirts, hoodies, posters, you know, the usual YouTuber merch. And then I also have a Bandcamp where I post like industrial metal background noise type stuff. So you might want to check that out. Yeah, links to all of that down in the description. That's it for the video, so thank you for watching, and goodbye.